Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a bit of a showery day here in the workshop. In the intro there, as you saw, I was taking some salvaged plywood and cutting neat edges on it so that we can use it in today's project. But then of course the heavens opened, so I've had to stop. However, as you can probably hear already, it is beginning to ease off, so I'll invite you to like and subscribe, and then I'll finish making those neat edges, and then we'll crack on and I'll tell you what we're doing with the plywood. So, as you know, I have now finished my A-levels and have technically left school. However, I am still going to be going back in for various musical performances until the end of the school year, which is on the 21st of July. And today is currently the 5th of July. And I intend to make 3 handmade presents for my various teachers at A-level. I took history, geography and music, and I have a present for each of those teachers. And today we're going to be working on the present for my geography teachers and the whole geography department, because I'm going to be donating them, hopefully, 4 infiltration boxes. What is an infiltration box, I hear you ask? It's essentially a wooden box in which you can put various different soils and rocks and materials, or just have it empty, and allow kids to experiment and determine how quickly water soaks into the ground. So very related to geography. My teacher saw them when we were on our geography fieldwork and happened to know that I did YouTube and some woodwork, and therefore asked me if I wouldn't mind making them some. So I of course agreed, and hopefully it will make an ideal present for me to say thank you very much to my teachers for teaching me my geography A-level. Here is the infiltration boxes that you asked for. I can put a picture up somewhere here of the boxes that we saw on our fieldwork at the fieldwork centre, and that is what I'm going to be replicating. However, those ones were quite large, probably about 3 feet wide and maybe nearly 4 feet deep, and I intend to make some smaller ones so that they can be used on tabletops, which will be more convenient at school. I therefore set out looking for the plywood, found it second hand, and have now, like I said, cut those clean edges on it. So I've now essentially got a set of nice even squares of plywood, which I can use to make these boxes. I also, off camera, made various different little prototypes out of cardboard and a glue gun, and landed up with this design here, with a 2-foot square base, walls on the 3 sides which are 10 inches high. It's going to have a slope to it so that obviously the water runs off. So I will put some sloped pieces on the bottom to give it legs, and so that it's raised off the floor a bit with that angle. And then I'll probably put in a nice supporting bar here across the front to stop any flex here, and maybe some little triangular braces for the corners so that it stays nice and strong. So I have, hopefully in my head and through my prototypes, a rough plan of what we're going to do. I think I've got enough wood for it, so let's get on. Mind you, of course, having said that and that I had all my plans sorted out in my head, the initial intention was to make them 2-foot square at the base, like I said, but looking at it now, I think that might be a bit big, so I might have to have a little rethink. Okay, I have cut the pieces for the main box, as you can see, and I was just about to start trying to do the slopey ones at the bottom to work out the angle, but now that I've made them smaller, I'm not sure as my original measurements are going to work, so I might have to change that. So I thought before I move on to that and trying to work out the slope with this new size, I'm going to first drill pilot holes and screw this main part together. Oh, what's this? New camera angles. Trying to mix things up a bit. Crazy. There's a reason for your subscription, if nothing else. Just set the camera up, about to roll, and then he comes and parks his bum right there. Hey, you're in my way, you know that? I was trying to work there, but you know that. Can I move you just over to the other side? Because then I can get to the workbench. That'd be much more convenient. Good boy. Or would you just rather I scratched your chin? He's rolling. Hey. Good boy. Yes, good dog. I know. It's okay. It's okay. All right. Do you want your bed or not? Right, happy there now? I'll take that as a yes. Okay, what was I doing? Yes, I've done the box, I've screwed it together with the 3 sides on it. I am going to put some material in here to make a supporting bar, just to take out this little bit of flex, because of course as they get older and the kids abuse them, they're going to need all the strength they can get. I have only got this little piece of wood in this size to put on this one, which is quite an ideal size. I have got other 2x2 that's bigger, perhaps a bit too chunky, although thinking about it, I could always run it down on the table saw. That is after all what it's meant for. So I am going to put a bar on here and then I'll put you back on the time lapse as I try and figure out how I'm going to put the slope on it for the water to run out. Beg pardon, I was lying, I found more. Okay, I have now put the slope bits on, as you can see, giving us as a 2.5 inch drop between the front and the back, which is going to be plenty for the water to run out. So now obviously the kids will pour water in at the top and then time how long it takes to run off to the front, and then that, I suppose, impermeable surface, the wood, would be to imitate like concrete or an urban area, and then they fill it with mud or stone or whatever. I might put some mesh across the front so that lot doesn't fall out, but I've yet to make a decision on that. To imitate obviously Greenland areas, and then to pour water in the top and see how long it takes to infiltrate down and flow through the bottom. There's also, on the ones in the fieldwork centre, a piece of gutter along the front, which I may well do if I can source some gutter, which is why I've left a 3-inch gap at the front. I considered making it lower, but because I wanted to have room for that potentially, I left a 3-inch gap there. The other thing I've tried to do is taking care to make these not the whole length of the box, because that way, hopefully, these will stack. I think they will from what I've done so far, but I'm not sure. Well, the only way I'll really be able to know is when I've made another one the same and then just put one on top of the other. But fingers crossed they will stack, because then it will make it that much easier to store them at school. Now I'm going to move on to putting some small triangular braces just in the back corners and on these legs, although on the outside edges here, again, to allow it to stack and to clear the walls of the next one, I might make some little metal L-shaped brackets. Okay, so I have now put in those triangular braces. Decided against the metal ones because I haven't got the metal appropriate for it. So yeah, these are still nice and strong regardless. And that does now finish one box until I've managed to find some mesh and maybe some gutter. So because the process of me making the other three is going to be exactly the same, I think I'll end the video here. I hope therefore that you've enjoyed watching the video. If you did, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a few days now and I have finished the other three boxes. Couple of changes have been made. I said that I didn't have the metal appropriate to make metal braces. However, I then realized that I did. So I have made lots of these little right angle braces with little holes for screws. And I've put those in all of the boxes. Also replacing the wooden triangles for metal braces, both on the inside and the outside of the legs, because the wooden ones kept splitting apart as they are, after all, plywood. The metal ones, of course, still being lovely and strong. I did also find the gutter that I needed, and I've put it on the front of all of them, and the mesh as well, so now that they can be filled with rocks and soil and they won't fall out when it gets wet. And even with that added, they do still stack, which I'm very pleased about. I was concerned when I put the gutter on that they would no longer stack, but they do, which is awesome. And the last thing I've done is attempt to make them more watertight so that they don't rot as quickly as they would have done otherwise. I found in the back of a cupboard in here a can of spray seal, it was called. Essentially like a quick fix kind of tar roofing spray stuff that you would use to fix your shed roof in a leak, in a thunderstorm or something. So I thought that it would be perfect to seal the boxes, the insides, at least around the edges. I was going to do all the corners where the wood joined, and also on the top where the layers could delaminate. But then I thought, well, there's probably enough in here to do the whole inside of the box. So I masking taped up this first one, sprayed it all, and then the tin ran out. So for the other three, I ran some decorator's cork very poorly because I'm very bad at doing that stuff. But I ran it round the edges here just to hopefully keep out the water and stop these from rotting quite as quickly. So yes, I said the process of me making the other three would be exactly the same, and it was. So that does finish these boxes now, and they will be given to my geography teachers on the 21st. So in the next video, we will begin working on another present for a different subject, so I'll see you then.